The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contest, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/ThePodcastingDead.
Let's talk about The Walking Dead.
Hello, I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And with The Podcasting Dead, we also do live streams, which are more like immediate reactions to the episode each and every Sunday night. So be sure you check those out once The Walking Dead returns. And you know what kind of sucks is the fact that it's going to return just to go away again.
I know it, man. I can't deal right now.
Right. We've got these other Walking Dead shows to hold us over, but that never really is as entertaining as The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead looks like they've hyped it up a little bit, but I'm not going to lie. The trailer for this last season looked pretty damn good, and then it wasn't a good season.
And that's literally, I think they put in the trailer the only like redeeming scenes, and that's it. That's all they have.
Yeah, but
we got
a sweet trailer for that, which is coming out sometime this summer, so we'll at least have that. But no, The Walking Dead's going to come back. And then it's going to end. It's kind of like a turbulent relationship, but alas, we'll figure it out. All right, so JP, it was clear from last night's live stream for you, the highlights and the high points of this episode were certainly Princess's.
To me, that was
presence.
the episode, man. I'm not saying there wasn't other stuff going on. There certainly was stuff going on, but yeah, Carol was everybody was kind of getting on my, sometimes they get on my nerves a little bit, like Judith and her whole, oh, we can't leave that dead person behind. Like, come on, kid. You got to toughen up, and that's it.
Yeah, well, like I said, Judith is not as acclimated to the brutality of human nature. I mean, she knows how to deal with walkers. She's seeing her first war, I guess, but she's never really been through, I guess, the things that Daryl has. So,
do you like that Judith is keeping secrets?
I do and I don't. I understand 100% why Judith wouldn't tell Daryl about Rick, because she's scared that Daryl will run off and just be like, Rick, I miss you. But at the end of the day, I want to see Daryl's reaction to, I mean, I hope that's not one of those things that is going to be kept from Daryl.
I would not count on seeing it in the season finale, and I'll just leave it at that.
No, I'm sure. Looks like we got an interesting season finale coming up. We got Maggie showing up. We've got a ninja, it looks like, which some people were saying is going to be Maggie, but I just don't see that being Maggie.
Yeah, that was weird, man. And that like feudal Jap samurai, I don't know what kind of, it was like a samurai mask. It looked like
they had those seats, like those little seats. I did a little training, not a lot, but a little bit. I used to be on the demo team when I took martial arts, which is just where you go to like nursing homes or schools or whatever, and you do these choreographed fight scenes. And I used to use those a lot when we had to do the weapons section, even though I trained more with the Psy, but I always thought those were cool. And now they're in The Walking Dead. I mean, some people are speculating it's a character from one of the video games, like Road to Survival, which is like the mobile game you see advertised. I played it for all of like a day. It just is very repetitive and not my thing. But I don't know, man. If there's going to be a video game character, the only ones that I would care to see would be like Kenny or Clementine or Lee. And I know you don't know exactly who they are, JP, but they're from the Telltale Walking Dead series, which is one I actually think you would. I don't know if you like it now, but I think back in the prime of like reading, because this happened in the comic universe. Mm-hmm. So in the prime of reading The Walking Dead, I think you'd have enjoyed it back in the day. But if I see a character needs to be like Kenny, Lee, Clementine, it's one of those main ones from that game. But I don't know. At the same time, though, I mean, so is this what happens in the apocalypse? People just go off and come back ninjas? I mean, we had Morgan.
Yeah.
Do it, and we've got this person. I feel like we've had someone else. I mean, you've got so many stick fighters, and just, I don't know. I'm interested to see who this is. I really kind of hope it's not someone we know, because I don't know. It's just such a radical, like for Morgan. I like Morgan. For him to just be this nice country guy that saved Rick, living with his son, Dwayne, and then to become like Donatello from the Ninja Turtles. Just was such a radical change, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want another character that's like, I went off and became one with the martial arts.
Who do you think it would be to return? Who would you like to see return?
Well, I mean, who's gone that could return? Morgan, perhaps? I ditched the stick.
And now I'm wearing freaky masks.
Now I'm wearing which he was wearing a mask in the beginning when he first came back. But
that's true.
You know, maybe he's like, I found a new mask. And I also ditch the stick, which I don't know. Maybe it's Morgan. I don't know. I'd much rather see him on The Walking Dead than Fear the Walking Dead, which I've got to say, in the Fear the Walking Dead trailer, Morgan was noticeably absent.
He was. It was very conspicuous. I think he survived his brush with death. I think Madison probably patched him up.
You think Madison's the one?
I'm speculating. Maybe not. But
I don't think Fear the Walking Dead is adventurous enough to do something that big. You know what I mean? I feel like Fear the Walking Dead's just a lot simpler, and I don't know.
Tom, I feel like they'll pull out the stops just to get this show,
They're going to have to.
Yeah, they've got to. But
maybe it's Nick.
That would be.
Maybe he survived his shots to the chest, and now he's like, I'm no longer on heroin, and I'm a ninja. Which Nick, I don't know why. Nick's from California. He doesn't talk like that.
No, but he does like heroin.
He did, yes, but he's clean now.
Probably
so. But yeah, no, I thought Princess's moments on the show were definitely some of the high points. Princess's, because that's a hard character to play, man. Because I remember thinking about, when we heard that we were going to be meeting up with Princess soon, like, man, that's got to be a hard role because she's just such a cartoony, animated character. But I got to say, the actress is pulling it off pretty damn well so far.
Yeah, you have to love her, right?
Yeah, she's awesome. I like the conflict in her. I like I don't know. I can kind of relate to that. Just being like your own worst enemy, or like her basically just, I don't know. It's weird. Like, you kind of feel for her because she just wants people to like her, and she just wants to do the right thing and be a good person, but she's her own worst enemy in a way. It's an interesting character, some depth that I can appreciate.
She's impulsive, that's for sure.
I just love she's counting. She's like, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, and then it comes back and she's continuing to count. And then Eugene, or I think it was Eugene, starts talking and she just completely loses her place. And I remember thinking, dude, I know I would completely lose my place if someone stopped me. And then she did. I was like, oh, God. I knew when she was counting it was going to be a minefield. Like, when she started doing her weird walk, I knew it was going to be a minefield.
I wonder who laid those mines. The military, perhaps? Or
I
maybe
think she
survivalists?
did.
You think she put them there?
She might not have. Don't get me wrong. There probably is a point where somebody would, I'm sure somebody will be in the comments like, y'all are dumbasses. She said straight up, I didn't put them here. But whatever. I don't remember her saying, where they came from. I just did assume she put them there. And but maybe she didn't. That's just simple thinking. But the beta stuff was interesting. These mixed voices in his head, man, the only problem I have with it is I really can't understand much of what he's saying.
Yeah, when he first heard it up there on the tower, I thought he like heard Aaron, but then I was like, no, that won't Aaron, that goobly gook. He's going crazy, just like everybody else,
There were some people, I was watching this channel on YouTube called George Drake. If you're big fan of The Walking Dead, you should definitely go check his channel out. He does a lot more than we do as far as, he does predictions, and hell, he puts out multiple Walking Dead videos per week, but great channel. And he was talking about he was speculating on Aaron and Alden being stuck in the tower or the windmill, and thinking that one of them was going to get the death, but it looks like they might. I don't know if they're going to do. I feel like next episode, Father Gabriel will get his comic death. I feel like in the finale that's going to happen because he was talking to those kids. Yeah, I'm calling. He was talking to those kids. Okay. But yeah, we've had some focus on him. We've had we get that scene from the sneak peek where he's talking to the kids. Kind of creepy at first. Look at these fingers,
dude. That was so creepy, man.
But I get what he was saying, though. Actually, it was a pretty cool comparison. He's basically saying, like, look at these fingers. Like, these fingers don't look like much on their own, but when you close them all together, you have a pretty devastating weapon. Like, I get what he's saying, but it is kind of creepy. Telling a bunch of kids. And Father Gabriel, I like him. I really like his development as a character, but we got to all admit, he is a little creepy at times. And he's just looking at kids, look at these fingers, but yeah. But I get what he was saying. And the only thing I don't like about that, man, the only thing I hate about sneak previews sometimes or sneak peeks, it's like we know Aaron and Alden get away, because it shows it in the previews, and it's things like that I don't want to see in the sneak peeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like that as much either. I like going in relatively fresh. So show me some action, something to wet my whistle. But yeah, don't throw in anything that's going to spoil the suspense.
I mean, we know that. I mean, we know as fans of the show that at some point they're going to one or both of them are going to get free. But I just I don't want to know for sure going into the next episode. Like, all right, now we're going to get to the part where they get away. Like,
yeah, I know.
You know, we had them captured. It looked like they were in some deep schnit. I want to go into the episode thinking they're in deep schnit, but now I know they're going to get away and meet some kind of ninja who's, you know, I don't know. We've had a lot of, you know, this will be like it kind of reminded me of like the Michonne introduction, just like this ninja weapon wielding person in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, very reminiscent of that. Very mysterious. She's got a great look. I assume it's a she. It might be a dude. I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a she, a he. I don't know if it's who this character is. Our pal Derek Patterson is the one that gave me the heads up that it could be someone from the game. But he says that this character that everybody's talking about is a Woodbury survivor. With Connie, he has a good point. With Connie relying on her eyesight so much, it wouldn't make sense to wear a mask. I don't know, though, man. Connie coming back as a ninja would be pretty. But the thing is, at what point, she hadn't been gone that long. I mean, at what point did she venture off? And I learned the art of the skith. How do you say those? Scythe? The scythe.
I don't know, but
I don't know why I'm having so much trouble pronouncing today.
It shouldn't be her. It shouldn't be her. Oh, I'm sorry. My throat's kind of dry.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens. Mine is, too. I had my coffee this morning, but I usually follow it up with a glass of water, and I haven't yet. So I feel you. I can't talk worth the damn today anyways.
Yeah, I'm super sleepy this morning.
I am. I'm exhausted. Like, I couldn't talk last night worth the damn on the live stream. I can't talk at all this morning. It's just, yeah, and it's also, too, the fact that I've got so much to do at work today. When we finish this podcast, I mean, I have a mountain of shit that I have to do. So, but anyways, like I said, I think, what do you think about King Ezekiel? I mean, like, going forward now, I really was hoping he was going to put on the King Ezekiel facade with Princess. I mean, in a way, though, I'm glad that he didn't. I understand why they had him not. It's kind of like he's growing up. He's moving past that point. Like, I think they intentionally wanted you to think at that point he was going to say, well, Princess, I'm King Ezekiel. But I think that, you know, it shows he's growing up. And I love that, like, when Jerry told him goodbye, he was basically just like, you know, goodbye, Ezekiel, you know, just calling him by his name, not boss or king or anything like that. Their goodbye makes me think that one of the two of them is definitely going to die. Probably King Ezekiel. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he's going to live? Do you think he's going to die? Do you think the Commonwealth is going to treat his cancer? What's up?
They will treat him. You know, at first when they were when they had stopped in the minefield, and Ezekiel said something about maybe there was something he could do to help, I thought he was going to just take the lead and be like, I'm going to die anyway. I'll guide you through the minefield. But that's not what he did.
I really thought for a second, I mean, granted, you know, I knew she wasn't going to die, but for like a moment's time, right? Like, I thought Princess was just going to be a cameo. Like, basically, she was going to be in. She was going to take a step and go. I mean, how big of a shock would that have been, though? Especially for comic readers, you know, Princess is a pretty big player going forward, and you're just like, oh shit, okay, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and then maybe she has a twin sister that they meet on the other side.
Oh, man, I'm still trying to... I'm going to need to see a little bit more of Princess. If you're new to the channel, we have this very weird thing that we do called the Barn of Pleasures. If you're familiar with our channel, you probably roll your eyes because you're like, how many times are you going to explain this? But some people are new to the channel and they've never experienced the Barn of Pleasures. But it's basically just where we got so bored talking about Fear the Walking Dead that we created this very erotic place where all the Walking Dead characters go to have group sex and wild orgy style lovemaking. So
it's pretty extravagant.
Someone mentioned last night on the live stream, oh, now Princess is going to be in the Barn of Pleasures, and she will be, but I've got to get a little bit more of a read on her. Got to see her a little bit more before I can imagine how she would be in the Barn of Pleasures.
Oh, exactly.
She's attractive too, man. I like the purple hair and just everything. The character, the actress works for the role.
Yeah, dude, I enjoy her a lot. She's definitely easy on the eyes, and she's a good addition to the show. I said it last night. That was the high point of the episode, and it's so weird that like the side story that you want to get back to the main action, the side story was more enjoyable than the main story.
And now you weren't very keen on Judith this episode. She was getting on your nerves with the "Can we do why she had a family?" But Judith is a kid, and though she's definitely seen. I mean, at this point in her life, she's already more badass than Carl was at this point. I think. I'd say yes. Carl wasn't out there wielding a sword. I mean, he had his moments for sure where he was a badass around her. Because what is she now, like 10?
Something like that.
And I think Carl was like 8 to 10 when the show first started. So, I mean, really at this point, he was just the most badass thing he was doing was being a little rebel and not staying close to his parents. But Judith has seen a lot, but I guess she's just very innocent when it comes to human nature and war and just what, But yeah, Daryl not playing around. I mean, Daryl, it's for a long time, though. I mean, even with going back to season 2, when they had Randall in the barn, Daryl's really just kind of been a take 'em or leave 'em kind of guy. I don't think he's ever really, if you're an enemy of his or his groups, he really doesn't mind offing you if he asks. You know what I'm saying? It's not something he struggled with a lot. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not thinking of a season here and there because, we did have Daryl go to, we need to find people. And then, next season, him and Rick flip-flop. Rick's like, we don't trust people. And Daryl's like, we need to find people. And then the next season, Daryl's like, I don't trust people. Rick's like, you got to find people. So, I'm not going to say we haven't had our Daryl moments where life was precious to him. But, I mean, even kind of from the beginning, man, he really didn't care. I mean, if you were an enemy, to hell with you. Put a bolt in your head and keep moving. He don't,
And he had to with that whisper. And she wanted to come back as a walker, She said so. But he had to do it, and that was fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, I didn't, Judith and then Lydia and Negan, I wasn't really digging that whole
The Lydia and Negan
sequence.
thing now, I didn't mind that because, I mean, that is a bridge you have to cross. I mean, Negan and Lydia had they both connected on the fact that they were outcasts, that they had been part of enemy factions. Now, one led an enemy faction, the other's mom led it. But they both had a pretty big role to play in an enemy faction and were prisoners of war at one point. They had a lot that they could connect on. And even, Negan rushing in and saving her life when she was getting jumped by those pieces of shit. And then he turns around and makes love to her mother and then cuts her head off. So they definitely have some things that they need to sort out. So that didn't bother me as bad. I'm glad we kind of went ahead and got it over with. I really was worried that they were going to drag this thing out and it would be like a whole season or two of awkwardness between Negan and Lydia. So, I'm glad it's over with. I hope it's not going to be a focal point
Yeah, I think they ironed everything out pretty good. And now we can just move on and everyone can move on.
It's a big old horde coming to where they are, but some people were in the comments last night of the live stream saying they didn't think the horde was big enough, but I'll tell you, it's a bigger horde than I would care to deal with.
I think it's big enough, and it's got the internal threat of the Whisperers, so...
I just wish somebody was sitting on top of the hospital or whatever it is with the rifle, and just when Beta walks up being all, bam! I mean, you cut the head off the snake. We can see that the only Whisperers that ever had a thought of their own were Gamma, Alpha, Beta, and Negan, right? The rest are just mindless followers. I mean, you kill their leader, and they're like, you're the new Alpha! And I get their thought process, but, I mean, they basically, man, you take out Beta, and that's pretty much it for the Whisperers. I mean, the rest of them are, I mean, can you blame them, though? I mean, Beta, you mess up and say the wrong thing, he just slits your throat.
I know. Don't call him Alpha, for God's sake. He'll do something nasty to you.
I don't understand how they can't get this unless they just don't know what's happened to their comrades. I love. Did we ever find out what happened? Remember in the recent episode where he lets Alpha bite? I guess it was last week's episode where he lets the Alpha's head on the spike bite. Did you remember the other Whisperer just dipped out? Was like, nope, hell with this. I didn't sign up for this bullshit. Remember, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't really even notice that until I went back and rewatched the episode. And like as he's sitting there holding the guy's head and Alpha's chomping on his cheek, the other Whisperer's like, nope, Dipset out. Done.
Would you have like leg swept him and stopped him from doing that, or just?
I would have definitely put a knife in his back when he turned around. I mean, if Alpha was still alive, then yeah, you'd be worried. If you killed Beta, then you have to answer for it to Alpha and the repercussions. But I mean, Alpha's gone now, and Beta is, you know. Then again, though, we've seen him take shots. He has a bulletproof vest. He's been stabbed. I mean, he's a tough guy, but I definitely would have like stuck the knife in his throat or something when he turned around.
It's got to be a kill shot. You can't, nothing less. You got to take him out, one and done.
Oh yeah, you give him a chance to fight, you're probably done.
Yeah,
unless you're Daryl, in which case you can hang in there with the big guy. Still one of my favorite fight scenes in the show's history. And I'm gonna tell you, he said Negan, right? Didn't we? Last night, didn't Beta, when they were doing their walk, wasn't he like Negan? Like they're looking for Negan too. So we better get our Negan Beta brawl. If you've been listening to this podcast, we've been saying that for like 2 years since they teased the introduction of the Whisperers. I love the Daryl and Beta brawl. That was awesome. But we said it back when that happened. It was awesome. Great scene. But that better not be like their way of taking the place of the Negan Beta brawl. I want to see Negan and Beta go head to head, and I think it's going to happen. The fact that they're looking for Negan, the fact that we're getting to I think we're going to see it. I just hope Negan, I hope Lucille kind of gets the same fate she does in the comic. Let's say it like that, so it doesn't spoil too much.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think that'll be the best part of the season finale.
I really do. I mean, I've never not liked Negan. But I really like his character, man. I was rewatching last week's episode before this episode, and just the chemistry between him and Daryl, and I love it, man. That whole scene was great. That definitely was one of the best parts of last week's episode when he has, Daryl tied up and he's got the shotgun, and Daryl's like, "You should probably go ahead and shoot me," because Daryl's just basically saying like, "You son of a bitch, I'm gonna kill. If you don't kill me, I'm gonna kill you." And then he's like, "Don't threaten me with a good time." Go bow and shoots one of the Whisperers. Like, that was a great scene.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan just makes the show right now in so many ways.
Well, and it's some other characters too. But yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan definitely would make a good, I hope they keep him at the forefront.
They need to, man. I mean, at this point, they'd better.
How about Luke looking skinny as hell? You could definitely tell he's definitely been losing some weight, which is accurate. You're in an apocalypse, and now you're no longer in your civilization.
Yeah, man. I mean, I thought I'd missed an episode or a scene or something. I was like, when do they introduce this character? And then next day, oh, that's Luke. Okay.
That's an underutilized character, man. Luke, the actor that plays him, and forgive me for not knowing his name, but he does an amazing job. Dan Fogel, ain't that his name?
Oh, yeah,
I think it's Dan Fogel.
Oh, excuse me.
But he's awesome. He's a great actor. He needs to put on a little bit more weight, though. That super skinny look is eat a sandwich, my man.
It's kind of when Jonah Hill loses a lot of weight. You're just like, this doesn't work for me.
I don't think you have to be I'm not saying go back to being humongous. I'm just saying, look healthy. I mean, there is a such thing as too skinny.
Yeah.
But anyways, not trying to be judgy. Just saying, Dan, my man, you looking all right when you had a little weight on you. So, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I really wish we could get that character in more, man. I think he's a good character. I like it. I love that we saw kind of, and I know it's because he's been filming elsewhere during this portion. I mean, that The Walking Dead has a bad habit of these actors and actresses doing other projects while doing The Walking Dead and putting The Walking Dead on the back burner. And honestly, I feel like it's kind of hurt the show through the years because you've had characters like Heath just disappear. Connie, great character. We loved her. Everybody was really digging Connie, and she's gone because she's filming that Marvel thing. Dan Fogel is Luke, great character. Everybody likes him. He's all filming other projects. I want Norman Reedus level devotion to filming this show.
Yeah.
This show is Norman Reedus's identity right now, and of course he's also the guy. You're that guy from the Boondock Saints, but Yeah, I want more Luke. I want Connie to come back.
Yeah,
those are my demands.
I think we'll get it next season, but not before this one's done. No.
You don't think so?
No, but I think we will at least. I think they'll leave us with Princess leading Ezekiel and his cohorts and Eugene to the promised land, or so it seems.
I got so stoked when Princess mentioned her cool-ass spear.
I know, man. I want to see her swiping that thing around, throwing it, doing all kinds of stuff.
Because she did have a gun when she first showed up in the comics, too, didn't she?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure she had, like, that exact gun. Like, they,
That's a badass machine, too.
I think is that an M60? Gun experts, let me know. I kept, like, when we saw her last week, I meant to pay more attention. And then, I think that's the one. I think that's the M60. But I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I didn't really pay as much attention to it as I wanted to. But I'm trying to think, man. We had now when Lydia told Negan that she wished that everybody wished he'd have died too, that kind of hurt my feelings.
I didn't like that either.
I was like, dude, he's saying, and I mean, she's saying what I'm sure you'd be thinking in that scenario. I mean, you got to put yourself in their shoes, and Lydia wasn't there for the savior, war, but you gotta look at it from what she said was probably right. I mean, look at it from like Aaron's point of view, or these people back when Negan was their Hitler, basically, and he goes and kills the leader of the new bad guys. You probably think, oh, you're just trying to get, whatever. It's not because you care. You're doing it just to try and get yourself some, whatever. So I like how she told him that she hated her mom. Like, don't take that away from me. Mm-hmm. Negan's like, I liked her.
Yeah. Yeah, man, he liked her, all right. He liked all up in her, but I think that they're going to be almost as dynamic as Carl and Rick were. I think they're kind of going to fill that.
Well, I feel like that's kind of more of like a Michonne Carl relationship,
so to speak. Yeah, so to speak.
Man, what would Carl be doing right now? Why in the hell did Scott Gimple? And we can't say. Sometimes we get mad because they kill a character, and then we come to find out the character wanted to leave, or there were some extenuating circumstances, and it wasn't the fault of the writers and the creators of the show. But Carl totally was. And I've harped on that enough. If you're new to the channel, you're not aware of that. But what the hell, man? Like, Carl would be with Lydia right now. We'd have a great dynamic. I mean, like with Rick gone, because in the comics right now, the dynamic was between Negan and Rick. Mm-hmm. Now Rick's gone. That could have totally been Carl. And you could have easily just slid Carl right into that Rick role as far as his relationship with Negan. And I guess they're kind of trying to do that with Lydia filling in that role, but man.
Yeah, dude, it sucks. Thank goodness for Angela King. I mean, she really pulled the biscuits out of the fire.
Now if she could just figure out some way to bring Carl back from the dead.
Now that would be a trick. Maybe they found some government installation with a time travel prototype.
We found your boy.
Yeah.
When he went to shoot himself in the head. I don't know why the scientists are talking like that. It'd be like, we found your boy. When he shot himself in the head, he didn't hit the right part of his brain, or it's one of those freak accidents where the bullet hits the brain and slides around. You know what I mean? Like, you've had people get shot in the head and the bullet never goes through the skull. Like, it goes under the skin and slides around the head. And you had buried the poor boy. He had almost suffocated to death, but we pulled him up. We cured him of the virus, and now he's back.
Well, I was saying for a long time that I thought Carl faked his death. Of course, they decided not to go down that road.
A lot of people were saying that back when that happened, that Carl did it to get Negan to, to kind of distract Negan or whatnot. But I mean so much to Negan that if I pretend I die, it'll throw him all out of sorts.
Yeah, and I mean that could still come to play. I don't think it will.
I think we're past that point.
Yeah,
that ship has sailed. But that is one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. I mean, granted, I would love to do like a top 10 best scenes of The Walking Dead, like our opinion.
Me too.
One of my favorites, though, and I mean of course, how can you beat Rick and Shane's conversation before Shane died? I mean, lots of great moments. One of my favorite scenes, though, is the conversation between Carl and Negan, where Negan's rolling up with all the grenade launchers, and Carl's giving him the whole, like, is this who you wanted to be? If you got to kill somebody, kill me. Like, really looked like he was kind of getting through to Negan, and then I hate that Negan just like, I thought we were having a moment, asshole. Like, I really thought you were too, Negan. I hate that for you guys. I thought you were going to connect there, but good time. So we rated the episode last night, so there's no need to do our whole like hiding it. I gave it a 3. You gave it a what?
I think a 2.
a 2. Not a bad episode, a slower episode, and like I said, we kind of hated to rate it though, because I don't know how I would rate this episode if I were getting to see the finale this coming Sunday.
That's true. That's kind of just a taste that's already sour in your mouth.
Right. You kind of got this bitterness because you're like, well, we're not going to, see it for another few months, and then when we see it, it's going to go away again.
It kind of felt like the mid-season finale. You remember how we were like, well, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't that good of a finale episode.
Yeah, they hadn't really been, and I'm okay with it, but they hadn't really been putting as much emphasis. We've had some greater moments happen in like the pre-finale shows and stuff. But yeah, a good episode, but just, I don't know, man. I really hate to, don't take that rating to heart if you really like this episode, because we're not trying to be, it's also probably very biased because we are not happy that we're not going to get to see it next week.
Our friend Derek Patterson didn't like it one bit.
No, and it's okay. When you have a show like that, you're going to have episodes you don't like.
Exactly.
I mean, the main thing is we love the show, and it's going to have to get really bad for me to ever drop off The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I won't stop watching.
It's going to have to. You know what I'm worried about, though? I feel like they're going to have the same thing as Game of Thrones. I feel like whenever they finally get to their last season, it's just going to be botched. But hopefully Angela King as showrunner will.
Yeah.
Thing you got to realize, though, Angela King does a good job, but you got to realize Scott Gimple's still in control. I mean, he got promoted. He didn't get pulled away from showrunner and it was given to her. Like, he just basically got promoted. I mean, at any point, Scott Gimple can. I mean, he's. I think he's a little more hands off. He's kind of like the Kevin Feige now. He's got say so, but I think that I think Angela King definitely is the helped and is part of the reason why big part of the reason why The Walking Dead's gotten back on track. But don't forget, the hurricane of Scott Gimple can roll through at any point, throwing whatever he wants where.
It can resurge, yeah.
But yeah, so we appreciate you tuning in, and we will, man, it's kind of sad. We're going to continue to do Monday Walking Dead podcast. I think we might go back into the Walking Dead What Ifs just because those are easy podcasts to do. I mean, you can create a scenario for anything.
Oh, that'd be fun.
What if Princess was a bad guy? What if Daryl would have left that Whisperer alive? What if Negan would have killed Rick? Like, yeah, I mean, we could do tons of. So if you got any Walking Dead what ifs you'd like to see explored, please leave them in the comments section. We'll pick some of the best and maybe we'll do that. But we do need some material for the next few Mondays. And when the show returns, we'll be back. We'll definitely be reviewing The World Beyond.
Yeah, as well as Fear whenever that comes back on.
Yeah.
So look forward to that.
But yeah, we will see you soon. Don't forget to check out our Patreon where you can get exclusive podcasts just for patrons. In the meantime, I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Hit subscribe. And like helps out a lot.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Away.
Away? Are you just saying away?
Away with thee.
All right.
Whoosh.